Welcome everyone to Kraken of the Week episode 15. This week with a game from Hippersdontlie in the Tier 6 Premium Cruiser Boise. In the background here we have a game of domination on northern waters. And you can see Hippersdontlie didn't waste any time getting into the cap and getting aggressive. Before I get too far into this, I want to put out a big thank you to Wargaming, to all of you that watch the videos and have subscribed. We were selected as the big Wargaming community contributors winners, and that is all thanks to you all. And I greatly appreciate it. I'm looking forward to what the future brings. Also, if you have your own Kraken of the Week you'd like to submit, see below for details on how to submit that. So looking at the game now, Hippersdontlie in the C cap, pushing in. You see each team has lost a ship, but now the blue team down 2. And focusing on the New Mexico in the center, but we can see the Goopard right here. He's going to be making some aggressive moves into the cap, and those torpedoes are extremely dangerous. And we got a little bunched up here. The Miyoko probably crowding a little bit, but I'm assuming they're doing that simply because of the lack of cover out to the outside. But right here, got to make a decision of how to proceed. Hippersdontlie going ahead, taking the initiative, going straight around the island, and what a shot. Getting the devastating strike on the destroyer. And then as soon as getting the kill, switching over to AP to start putting some shells into the Grofsby here. And this is absolutely what I want to see. You see both teams are just disintegrating. 4 ships down on each side. And right here, Hippersdontlie switched to AP. Didn't get as many penetrations that you're hoping for and you expect from this angle. But doing a good job making sure to stay angled up and try to mitigate all the damage coming in from the Grofs, because those are some very big guns coming in that can citadel the Boise fairly easily. So right here, getting another broadside shot, and that's what you're looking for. 5 penetrations plus 2 citadel hits. And going ahead, getting another salvo off, and that's kill number 2. 3 more citadels. Absolutely phenomenal. And going ahead, this is the one nice thing about the Boise. It gives you 3 heals throughout the match. So very similar to the Helena, with the heals being the main exception. So right here now, we have the Surrey that we need to handle. And the rest of the enemy team is all on the western flank. So the blue team needs to get rid of this Surrey in order to cut down on the cross-firing shots that would the enemy team would be able to get if they had ships on both sides. So keeping the AP loaded, getting the citadels raining in. That's 8 citadels already this game. And gosh, if this was this week, absolutely tear up that heroic mission. And right there, 3 more citadels. Now we're up to a total of 11. 3 kills and 77,000 damage. This is a fantastic start. Not even 6 minutes into the game now. But now we're even on caps, but the blue team is down on points. Simply due to the red team capturing A before the blue team was able to capture C. But you can see we do have a friendly Pensacola that is up in the B cap and helping shrink the points lead. As soon as he rolled into that B cap, the enemy team stopped accruing points on it. And now Hippersdontlie is going to get back into a central position to set up for the end part of this game. So far, I really appreciate the way Hippers has been playing this. Getting aggressive, using the HP, kind of like a budget with money. You know, it's there to be spent. You need to use some of your HP. You can't always just sit back and not take damage. I went in there, got aggressive, got the cap, and really took care of business with the 2 cruisers and destroyer. But now the enemy team has 1 each of a battleship, cruiser, and destroyer left. And the blue team with 3 cruisers and a destroyer. So the bigger guns are on the red team. And what you're going to see here in a bit, the King George that is left over has a significant amount of health. We see the New Orleans pop up here. New Orleans being pretty smart, not getting too far away from the red team. So what can happen in these types of situations is when you have two teams that are kind of spread far apart, one of the teams will just start sending in one ship at a time into the other. And that is a fatal mistake that we'll make, because what will happen is that one ship that gets ahead of the others will just get focused down and killed real quick. And then the process just repeats itself. So got to make sure, stay in decent contact of your friendly team in order to make sure you're not going to get focused, but that you can also all coordinate your fire on the same ship. So we got to glance at the Pensacola there. Decently low on health, but Hipper's now getting into the range of the New Orleans and going to go ahead and just start shooting some shells. I do like this setting that they have on their controller, allowing them to track the shell. That way you can see, if someone's behind an island, you can track it and see if it's truly hitting the target. So right here, focusing down the New Orleans. Pensacola is still doing a good job and mitigating damage. I'm surprised they survived this long, especially with the New Orleans. New Orleans has some decently punchy AP, and the HE is pretty strong as well. But you see the Pensacola was forced to back out of the cap just to stay alive, which that is absolutely the right call. At this point, staying alive is more important than getting this cap, killing this New Orleans. And right there, the two cruisers focusing it down. That's kill number 4 for Hippersdontlie. And now you're free to go into the cap and begin accruing points. Now you see, good team is ahead on points. This is what you want. And now we see the King George down here. We have Miyoko, Pensacola, Fubuki, and Boise versus a King George and a Z39. Now, the most likely the Z39 is going to be running twist and track. I'm assuming they are using Bay, and that is a huge perk to that destroyer right now, because they're able to, and you saw these two were in a div together, the King George and the Z39. So having that information of where the closest ship is absolutely valuable and can completely change the way that a battleship would play an engagement like this typically. So you see about 2/3 of their health still left, and now they got to be a little careful, because the King George is capable of striking every one of the ships left. But even worse, most of the ships have about less than 1/3 of their health. But you can see the Fubuki doing their job, getting some torpedoes. But in the meantime, the Miyoko does go down. And you can see that score shrunk just a little bit. Now it's only about a 30-point lead. And got to be careful. This is dangerous territory. If either one of the cruisers die, it will most likely mean a loss for the blue team. Especially without taking out one of their ships. But the key is get rid of the enemy destroyer. That's the ship that is capable to go around really quickly, get the caps, and most likely have a good idea of where the closest ship is. So you can see the Fubuki doing great work, going in and taking the A cap. Again, just preventing the enemy team from accruing points on caps. Don't necessarily have to capture it right now, but if you can at least get on the cap and prevent the accrual of points, that's going to be huge. Hippers right here turning the sonar on just in time, able to spot the torpedoes early, and now switching to AP and raining those AP rounds in on the superstructure of a battleship are absolutely huge. But the Z39 opening up their guns. This was a bold move by the destroyer, and most likely what cost them the game. Because with the Pensacola going down right there, the red team ends up taking the lead. And right now, I love this. Target selection is key. Focus on the destroyer, get them knocked down. And that heal is going to be what allows Hipper to live just long enough to take out the Z39 and get kill number 5 in the Kraken. And at this point, the Hippers is going to go down to the King George right here, but that's fine. Taking out that destroyer was huge, because that leaves the friendly destroyer Fubuki versus a King George, and that's just not a fair fight. So great job by Hippers, focusing on the correct target, getting aggressive and knocking out the enemy destroyer, and having an absolutely monster game. And you'll see on the scoreboard here a well-deserving 3,200 XP, and just a great game overall. Eventually the Fubuki does take out the King George and finishes off the win. Didn't have to get the kill given that the blue team had 3 caps, but overall, great job by the Fubuki staying alive, doing their job, and finishing off the battleship. That's all we have for this episode. Thank you all for watching. If this is your first time coming to this channel, consider hitting subscribe. We'll have a lot more videos coming at you shortly. Have a great day.